Hey guys, welcome to my channel. If this is your first time joining, this is Babes Closet where we teach on pattern drafting, sewing tutorial. So please like and subscribe for more videos like this. So let's head on to the tutorial. So first of all, this is just a basic pattern drafting. Just as you can see me do, I'm taking my basic measurements from my shoulder. I'm going down to my bust point, which is 10, and I've marked it out. And then from my bust point, I'm going to my waist, which is 15, just as you see me marked it out there. So from my waist, I'll bring my tape down to 8 inches, which will be my hip measurement. So after doing that, I'll just go ahead to rule out a straight line. So for this particular style, there is no underbust, so that's why you see me not marking my underbust measurements. So it is just my bust measurements, my waist measurements, hip measurements, and the length of the gown. So after doing that, I'll go ahead to take my shoulder measurement, which is 7 inches. So that 7 inches, I'll be coming out by half an inch. So I'll mark at 7.5 inch. And so from that 7.5 inch, just as you can see me do, I'll take my chest measurements. From my chest to the shoulder is 8 inches, and I'll go ahead to mark it just as you see me do here. And so then I'll just go ahead to take the measurement I took on my shoulder. I'll just go ahead to take it from my shoulder down to the chest line, and I'll go ahead to mark and then connect it with a straight line, just as you see me do here. So for my neck measurement, which you can see me do here, I'll be using 2.5 inch for the width of my neck, and then on the depth part of my neck, I'll be going down by 2 inches because it's a turtleneck, so we don't want to make it too big in order to avoid the neck from being too wide. So for my shoulder area, just as you see me do here, I'll come down by 1 inch and then connect it to meet the neck area, just as you see me do. So from the point I came down from, that 1 inch, I'll just divide it into 2, mark it out just like you see me do, and then come in by half an inch. And then from that half an inch, I'll just take my curve ruler and then connect it to meet my armhole on the chest line, just as you see me do here. So this will actually create my armhole. So after doing that, just as you see on your screen right now, from this point where my shoulder ends, I'll come out by 1 inch. So just come out by 1 inch because of the style there. So I'm coming out by 1 inch and then rule a straight line. So from that straight line, I'll just take my pencil to use the freehand method to connect to that 1 inch, that point there, as you can see me do. So just watch carefully and you will get it. And so after doing that, I'll go ahead to take my gown measurements, just as you see me do here. My gown measurement is 26, so I'm just making 26.5 inches for sewing allowance. So I'll go ahead and connect it. So I'll just mark out my shoulder line, my chest line, my bust line, my waistline, and also the hip and the length of the gown. Guys, please permit my voice, it's really down this period. So I'll go ahead to take my nipple to nipple measurements and then go ahead to mark it on my bust point, mark it on the waist and also the hip, just as you see me do. After doing that, I'll go ahead to connect with my ruler. So after doing that, on this point here, from the waist, I'll just go in by half an inch, and then on the other side as well, I'll come in by half an inch and go ahead to connect with my ruler to meet my bust point and also to meet my hip. But on the bust point, I'll come down by 1 inch, just as you see me do. So after coming down by 1 inch, and then I'll go ahead to connect from that point to meet the waistline on both sides. So after doing that, I'll go ahead to take my bust measurement. My bust measurement is 8.5. I've gone ahead to mark it there, and on my waist measurement is 7. So I'll add the 1 inch just as you see me do to it, and then mark it out. And on my hip measurement is 9. I'll go ahead to mark out 9 just as you see me do, and then I'll mark it there. So I'll go ahead take my ruler to just connect. So after doing that, for my side allowance, I'll just come out by 1.5 inch on the bust measurement, the waist, and also the hip down to the length area, and then go ahead to connect. And so guys, I've gone ahead to mark it out with my marker so you guys can see properly. So we'll be moving on to the design at the waist, just as you can see on your screen. So from this point here, I came out by 1 inch, just as you see me do. So you come out by 1 inch from your waist measurements, just as you see me do. Then on that same point there, I'll come down by 1 inch on the first side, and also on the other side, on the upper area, just as you see me do. I'll come up by 1 inch as well, and then take my curve ruler just to connect. So guys, I'm taking my time just to make sure I get a proper fitting at this side. So just take your time to make sure it aligns with both the first part and also the second part. So after doing that, I'll take my ruler just to connect a very straight line to meet the side allowance, just as you see me do. So just make sure everything aligns, just like I'm doing right now. So after doing that, I'll take my tracing wheel and then trace it out to connect on the other side. And so guys, I'm gonna here to trace it out, just as you can see. So on this point here, I'm going to come down by 1/2 inch, just as you see me do, and on the end point on the other side, I'm going up by 2 inches. So just go by 2 inches, and on the side allowance, I went down by 1.5 inch. So just watch it properly and you will get it. So on the first line, I went down by 1.5 inch, and on the second line of my side allowance, I came down by 2 inch. So from that point there, I'll just go ahead to take my time and then connect to meet the 1/2 inch on this other side. So just watch properly and you will get and understand what I'm trying to say here. So I'll take my marker to align properly so that you guys can see what I'm trying to say. So I've already gone ahead to just create the design at the front, taking my time. So guys, just take your time to create the special design at the front, just like I did. So this particular place I'm dotting is for the black fabric, then the rest part is for the white fabric. So after doing that, I'll just go ahead to cut. So just watch as I cut so you don't miss out on where to cut and where not to cut. So guys, before cutting on our fabric, we're going to be taking out the dart. The reason is because, as you see on your screen right now, on the gown there is no sign of that, but that was actually taken, but there was no sign of that. So before we go ahead to cut on our fabric, we'll just take out that. So guys, just as I was about cutting this particular design, I just had to bring down that ½ inch on the down part and then clean it off from the upper part. This is because I really don't want my body to show, but if you're a kind of person that is comfortable with your body showing, you can actually just leave it the way I marked it before. So I'm just coming down instead of marking it up. I'm coming down by ½ inch on the down part and do the same thing on all sides, both the upper part and also on the skirt area. Then after doing that, I'll go ahead to cut. So before cutting on that particular point, I'll just go ahead to take my pencil and then rule out a straight line from those points, as you can see me do. So just rule out a straight line and then go ahead to cut. So just like I did for the upper part, on the dart here as well, I'm just going ahead to close it before I cut on my fabric. So guys, we're done cutting the front pattern, so right now we'll move ahead to cut for the back. So guys, I've gone ahead to take my basic measurement on the back area. So this is what I have. On the neck area, I came down by 1 inch, and for the width I went in by 2.5, just like we did for the front. And on this particular place, as you see me do here, I did the same thing like I did at the front. I came out by 1 inch and they just connected to meet the armhole. So I'll go ahead now to take my bust point on the waist to the bust and also for the hip, and then go ahead to connect with a straight line. So guys, after doing that, I'll come in by 1/2 inch on both sides and then go ahead to connect to meet the bust area and also to meet the hip area, just as you see me do. So after doing that, I'll take my basic body measurements. So after doing that, I'll just go ahead to cut. Reason be that we won't be having that same design we did at the front at the back. It's just going to be for the front alone. So guys, to avoid zip budging, I'll just come in on the zip allowance by 1/2 inch and then connect it to meet my hip area and also connect it to meet the neckline, just as you see me do. So just pay attention guys and you will get it. So guys, I actually forgot to cut the length of the gown. So if you're actually drafting like this, so don't forget to cut the length of the gown. But later on I remembered, and then I cut it before I went ahead to cut on my fabric. So for the back, guys, we won't be covering the dart area, we're going to be leaving it like that. So I'm just marking out my front and then mark out my back, and this is it, guys. This is the end of this tutorial. This is for the back piece, and also I have for the front piece as well. So guys, before I go ahead to cut on my fabric, one major thing I do is that on both sides of the down part and the upper part, I'll come in by half an inch and then connect it to meet my waist area. So just watch properly and you will get what I'm trying to say. So come in by half an inch on that zip area and then connect it to meet the waist. This also helps to avoid the zip bulging as well. And then give it a good fitting as well, because the back is not actually straight, it is slant. So this is why I actually do this. So guys, we've come to the end of this video. If you learned something, don't forget to subscribe. Until my next video, bye.